Good morning to the Eagles game. What's up, y'all? I gotta address something with y'all. A couple of y'all hopping on this live feed so I can talk about this, because I always mention it in my videos, but today I'm gonna address what I mean in full this live video. Alright, there's 4 of y'all in here already. Alright, listen to this. The title of this video was Eagles fans and our standards. And I forgot what else I typed. Oh yeah, we gotta understand something. Now, listen to this. Y'all hear me in a lot of my live videos, I say it's too many playmakers on this team, right? Now, I'm gonna back up off the playmaker thing and just say it's too many players on this team that we have our standards set on, and they never fulfill our they never satisfy us. And this is why. What I mean by that is, if you look at like the dominant receivers in the league, the teams that got a dominant running back, the teams that got a dominant tight end, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look at the teams around the league, you have like I'm gonna just throw a team out there. When you think of the Patriots, you think of Brady first, right? But after Brady, you think of who? Rob Gronkowski, right? Okay, cool. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, you think of, some people might think of Le'Veon Bell first, some people might think of Antonio Brown first. But these are players that dominate on their team. You know what I'm saying? Now, switch it up to defense. When you think of the Eagles defense, first name might pop in your head is Fletcher Cox. You know what I'm saying? You think of who? Just throw a team out there. Like the Seahawks. You think of Richard Sherman first. Then you might think of Earl Thomas. You think of Cam Chancellor. Like, it's easy to pick out players that's dominant, that's really top tier dominant on their teams. So what I'm here to address with y'all today is our standards, and how I say "our" all the time, but a lot of this shit don't include me, because I know Eagles Nation, we all got different opinions on our team. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times don't include me. I just say "our" because we all the Eagles fan base. You know what I mean? But I always tell y'all that there's too many players on this team that we feel like can make plays. So, and then it's like we feel like they should make plays. Then when they not producing, it's like my girl, my homegirl Glory Delgado. She just posted in one of these football pages, what's up with Zach Ertz? Like, he ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is the problem with this Eagles team. In our mind, they got so many players on this team that we feel like can make plays, that should be making plays. But what I try to stress to everybody, but I never really explained it in full, is it's too many playmakers in our eyes on this team. It's too many guys that should be making plays, and then when they ain't making plays, it's like, where the hell you been? You like MIA. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of fans don't understand is the way this team is structured, like the way this team is structured right now, we got too many players that play the same position. So it's like, all right, take the running back core, for example. Everybody knows our best playmaker as running back is Darren Sproles. But then you get the analysts who say Darren Sproles is not an every down back. So, therefore, you need a number one running back. So that's Ryan Matthews. And Ryan Matthews ain't really been blowing you out the water with his stats this year. So, but at the same time, being our number one running back, he takes snaps away from Sproles. Then when you got Sproles in the game, like say Sproles line up in the slot, he's taking snaps from a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? And that wide receiver in your eyes might be the guy that ain't been doing shit. So it's like where he's MIA. You know what I'm saying? So every player on this team right now, it looks good on paper that you have those type of guys, But at the same time, it's like a curse to the other guys because they take away their snaps. Like my brother always say, Kenyon Barner should be the starter. And I told him yesterday, Darren Sproles and Kenyon Barner, they too small to be every down backs. Like neither one of them weigh 200 plus pounds. You know what I'm saying? So you can't have them out there starting because they're not every down backs. Now, Sproles takes away from Matthews because Sproles is a playmaker in the running back tandem. Kenyon Barner comes in, he shows flashes, you know what I'm saying? So then it turns into why he don't start over Ryan Matthews. But if you look at our running backs, it's 4 of them. You got Wendell Smallwood, Kenyon Barner, Darren Sproles, Ryan Matthews. Now, 2 of them guys been to the Pro Bowl, I'm sure. Now look at our wide receivers. So you get a guy like Jordan Matthews and Aguilar to start the season off. You know what I'm saying? So then you go out and you trade for Dorial Green Beckham. So now in everybody's eyes, you got a guy that's 6'5", 240. He's supposed to be out there making plays. So if he out there making plays, like say he have a 7 reception, 100-yard game, but we lose. Everybody gonna start to wonder, okay, well, where the hell is Aguilar? Where the hell is Jordan Matthews? Jordan Matthews have a game like that, then it's, okay, we traded for this guy Beckham, but he don't really do nothing. So every good player on this team, his good statistical game or his snap count takes away from somebody else. Now, look at our tight ends. Dougie P ran a 3 tight end set in Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? So automatically you think, all right, you're going to see a lot of Burton, you're going to see a lot of Ertz, you're going to see a lot of Selleck all the time. But keep this in mind. In Kansas City, 1 tight end stood out. And he was the dominant player, Travis Kelce. So, problem on our team, and look at our tight ends. Nobody stands out. Because I'm going to just go down the line. It's 11 players on offense. So you got Beckham, Matthews, Aguilar, Ryan Matthews. That's 4 players. Then you got the 5 offensive linemen. That's 9 players. Then you got the starting tight end, which is Selleck. That's 10 players. And then you got the quarterback, which is Wentz. Now, Ertz is a good tight end, but he's, like I always tell y'all, he's more of a prototypical tight end. The new age tight end. The guys that get a lot of receptions, get a lot of yards, and they get a lot of safety coverage because linebackers is too slow for them. Those are the new age tight ends. Selleck is the old school tight end that's rugged, that can block, that's big. You know what I'm saying? He do his thing. He do the dirty work, basically. So when your offensive line is as shaky as ours, you got to start Selleck because he's the bigger guy that's willing to block. Ertz is not a good blocker. So all the time you see Selleck out there, you're wondering, like, why don't Ertz get more playing time? So then a fan will say, well, Ertz can't block like Selleck. That's why Selleck starts. But then you get a game like last game where Selleck only played like 13 snaps, I think. Or either it was 13 snaps or 13% of the snaps. One of them. So Ertz was out there more. Ertz dropped the touchdown pass last game. Ertz dropped the touchdown pass, so it was reason to be furious because that was pretty much a walk-in touchdown. So if y'all understand the point I'm trying to make, it's like every player on this team takes away from another player. So in turns to leave the fans frustrated because it's like, where the hell is this guy? What is he doing? But what I've been trying to tell y'all for the longest is if you're looking at everybody, like I said, our standards, we got to look at how our standards and how we go about how we analyzing our squad. Our standards is set too high. When in reality, now I'm not telling nobody how to be a fan, don't get me wrong, but the way that my fan standpoint when it comes to this team is I just want one guy at each position to step up and be that dominant guy. Like I want one of the wide receivers to step up and take that number 1 spot, get them receptions, get them yards, take over the tandem and be at the forefront of the tandem. Go out there and be that dude. One of the running backs. Be that dominant running back that's getting yards. You know what I'm saying? That teams really got to stop. You know what I'm saying? One of the tight ends. Be that tight end that teams have to worry about. If you look at the game we got coming up, the top matchup in that game is Kevin Rudolph versus Nigel Bradham. For the simple fact that when Bradford can't go to nobody else, he looks to Kyle Rudolph, kind of like how Tony Romo looks to Jason Witten. Security blanket. But when you think of the Vikings, you got to think, boom, right off the top. If AP was playing, you think about him. AP was he's a dominant running back. Kyle Rudolph, he getting his name up, and this is what I want to happen on the Eagles. I want one of our guys to separate themselves from the pack and just become that dominant guy that teams got to watch and game plan for. We're not never really going to get nowhere with this, oh, everybody gets a piece of the pie, so you got each receiver on your team with 4 receptions, 35 yards, 40 yards, and one of them got a touchdown. No, I want that guy on our team to be, okay, this guy got 10 receptions in the game, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like, I want that guy on our wide receiver core to warrant that number 1 cornerback matchup when we play a team. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I think the last time we put a number 1 corner on our top receiver was against Pittsburgh, where they had William Gay on Jordan Matthews majority of the game. You know what I'm saying? But William Gay is not really a top tier cornerback. I'm talking about, like, when we play the Redskins, you know Josh Norman gonna shadow Jordan Matthews because he became that dominant receiver. Now, you know that you're gonna need a safety on Zach Ertz because linebackers is just not going to cut it in that matchup. A linebacker will get dominated by Zach Ertz. So you got to use a faster player like a strong safety on him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we use Malcolm Jenkins on tight ends and things like that, and guys like the slot corners when we don't feel like the depth chart matchup is a good matchup. Like, a lot of times we have Jenkins on a lot of these guys. You know what I'm saying? I want that running back to be dominant. Like, I want to see our running backs get 120 yards on one running back. You know what I'm saying? When you get a team like that and you know that defensive coordinators is coming to game plan against 1 or 2 guys that you know stand out on the team, that's when you start to get somewhere. Because aside from being the number 1, he also influences other guys to step their game up when the opportunity comes. So, like, if you got safety help over the top with the number 1 corner on Dorial Green Beckham, you just know that Jordan Matthews is going to be motivated by that. He's going to be motivated to eat up. You know what I'm saying? Aguilar going to be motivated to step up. But the problem with this team is everybody on this team just does, like, they all even. Like, everybody does the same thing. When you look at the stats after the game over, you see, like, Sproles might have had a big reception, but Sproles probably had like 8 rushes for 30 yards. Matthews might have had 12 rushes for 48 yards. Like, those kind of stats don't scare a living motherfucking soul in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But if you go out there, like, I ain't seen a dominant receiver on this team. I mean, D-Jax did his thing. Macklin did their thing. They had career years and everything. But I haven't really seen a dominant receiver on this team since we had Terrell Owens. I haven't seen a dominant running back since we had Shady or since we had Westbrook. Like, before T.O. came to the Eagles, Westbrook was McNabb's go-to guy. Like, Westbrook was the guy that you had the game plan against. You knew you had to stop Westbrook going into an Eagles game. You know what I'm saying? And Shady did his thing while he was here. D-Jax was a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a problem on the field with the deep ball and all. But once teams figured out how to neutralize that, D-Jax became just one-dimensional. Like, he wasn't dominant at nothing else. Macklin was probably the all-around receiver that the best all-around receiver we had since T.O. as far as catching the ball everywhere. And I mean, he was more consistent than D-Jax because D-Jax got took out a lot of games with safety help over the top. But the whole point of me making this video is, like, if you take your standards off, like, looking to everybody at every position to step up, you're never going to get nowhere like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to pinpoint the guy that you see the most potential in, and you got to hope and pray that one day he's going to realize, like, he has to step up and be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe we need some divas on this team. Guys that want the damn ball. Like, guys that'll go up to Carson Wentz and say, listen, give me the ball. You know what I'm saying? We need a couple guys like that. And that's what I want on this team. Like, we don't need to keep finding, like, trying to, every time Josh Gordon name up, everybody want him on the Eagles, even me. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. We need one of these guys to get it in their head, like, okay, if we all even and don't nobody respect us at the wide receiver position, fuck that. I'm just going to step up and be that dude. They just going to have to come out and get me. You know what I'm saying? And the next game, he go off. You know what I'm saying? 10 receptions, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. That'll open somebody's eyes, but then you go into the next game, 8 receptions, 100 yards, 1 touchdown. People start opening their eyes like, okay, this guy's separating himself from the pack. He's going to be a problem. And that's what I want on this team, man, because I'm tired of looking at, oh, man, he should be the starter. He had a better game than him. Like, all of this, too many players at one position. Everybody want to see everybody step up. And I keep telling people, it's not enough plays for everybody to have a good game. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we can have the type of team where if other people slacking, somebody step up that game, but then the next game they go back to the inconsistency. You know what I'm saying? I want one player at each position to separate themselves from the pack and be dominant. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want on this team. If it's going to be Jordan Matthews, I want Jordan Matthews to become a motherfucking horse on offense. Like a fucking beast on offense. If it's going to be Green Beckham, let it be Green Beckham. If the tight end spot, if it's going to be Zach Ertz, let it be Zach Ertz. But I see a lot of fans that just want too much from all of these players on this team. And I keep telling y'all, man, if you're running 55 plays a game, you know what I'm saying, let's say 20 of them run plays. Then you got 35 plays where you passed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, break that down to three wide receivers and 1 tight end. You know what I'm saying? And then not to mention, if Sproles in the game, you got 5 players trying to split 35 passes. And let's say 10 of them incomplete. So you got 25 for 35. You know what I'm saying? 25 passes going to 5 different players. Yeah, that's a good ratio of all of them caught 5 passes each. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, it ain't going to go down like that. It's going to be more so like 4, 3, 6. But now, I mean, to hell with all that, man. We need to get a true legit number 1 receiver on this team that dominates the league. We need a true legit number 1 tight end on this team that kills so much that you got to put safeties on his ass. Like, we need a dominant running back on this team. If we have one beast player at each position on this team, we'll be all right. And fans won't have to say, well, where the hell you been? You ain't doing nothing for the last 3 games. I ain't hear your name in 2 weeks. You ain't got to worry about that. Because the focal point of your whole opinion and your whole fan-based opinion is going to be on that guy that's dominating. You know what I'm saying? So, I believe Dorial Green Beckham can be that dude, man. Like, he got the size. And I seen him in that Redskins game, man. Like, when he in the open field, he'll throw you halfway across the fucking field with a stiff arm. That's how big he is. But he just got to unleash that monster. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got to be out there running motherfuckers over. Like, you got to make people open their eyes and say, yo, that guy right there, he's going to be a problem. We're not putting you on him. We throwing our number 1 corner on him because we need that matchup if we got any chance at winning this game. Because if you let that guy run wild, it's over. That's what people think when they think of Antonio Brown. You know what I'm saying? That's what people think when they think of Gronkowski. Like, everybody, majority of the teams got a dominant player at a position where everybody pay attention to him. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to us, it's all spread out. And that's not going to really get you nowhere because it's always going to be somebody that feel like they shorted or don't get the ball enough, or the fans going to look at them like, yeah, you was MIA last game. Like, you only had 2 catches, but you supposed to be this, that, and the third. Like, last year, for example, Jordan Matthews and Ertz wasn't dominant last year, but they stood out last year because they was Bradford's favorite targets. You know what I'm saying? So you seen Jordan Matthews almost get 1,000 yards in the season. You seen Zach Ertz get like 70-something receptions. Like, but this year, look what they doing now. Like, they spreading the ball out. That's all good if you winning games. But when you start to lose and fans start to open their eyes and start looking around like, all right, well, you know, we supposed to be running 3 tight end sets. What the fuck is Ertz? Like, we supposed to, you supposed to be using Sproles more. Aguilar MIA. Like, why we not getting the ball to Green Beckham more? Why Jordan Matthews, all he do is drop the ball? We should be getting Green Beckham involved more. Like, it's too much, man. Like, just focus on one guy you want to dominate, be that dominant factor on our team. And just pray that he can become that. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I'm looking at DGB. Jordan Matthews is alright with me, you know what I mean? But now that they moving him around, he ain't the focal point in the slot position no more. You know what I'm saying? He play outside now, and it's probably gonna water down his stats a little bit because, you know, it's not Bradford throwing it to him every fucking play. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. But the whole point is, we got our standards set so high on every player on the team, and it's never going to work because it's never going to be enough plays for you to be satisfied with everybody you focusing on this team. It's always going to be somebody that you feel like went MIA. It's always going to be a player that you feel like ain't doing enough. It's always going to be a player you feel like ain't getting enough snaps. You know what I'm saying? So Doug Peterson need to really like analyze this squad and pull these motherfuckers to the side and say, listen, I want you to be that guy that steps up. I want you to go out there and be that guy. Because I see it in your physical attributes. You know what I'm saying? I see how physical you are when you got that ball in your hand. I see how you throw people off of you. You got a monster in you. All you got to do is unleash it. You're going to be my guy. Boom. And he go out there and just show up. Dorial Green Beckham can be that dude. Jordan Matthews could be that dude. You know what I'm saying? But you got to want that. And trust and believe me, my whole point, man, when you start to see like one guy separate himself from the pack and start opening eyes around the league and everything, you're going to realize like now it ain't about him not getting the ball because we got a motherfucking beast right here. So we ain't even got to worry about that. And the only time you're going to have to be angry about somebody not stepping up is when defenses take that guy completely out the game and don't nobody else step up. It ain't like that now. Any of our players can get took out the game because there's so many damn players that can make plays on this team, but they don't do it. So, like I said, man, focus on that guy you want to dominate and just hope and pray that he can open his eyes and become that player. You know what I'm saying? But that's the whole point I was just trying to make about this video, man. Like, we don't need to have our standards set on every fucking body on this team making plays. You know what I'm saying? We need a guy at every position that wants that title bad enough that goes out and get it. We need one dominant receiver, one dominant tight end, one dominant running back. You know what I'm saying? And as simple as that. You'll see the whole league take notice, and you'll see a whole different team out there when these guys step up to the plate and take the whole position by storm. Then it'll be way different. That's the only point I'm trying to make, man. It ain't enough plays to go around for everybody to be satisfied about how somebody producing. It's too many players that fans look at like that. So, I mean, that's just the point I was trying to make, man. But like I said, everybody got their own way they go about being a fan, and I ain't here to knock nobody. I'm just voicing my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's all, man. Till then, Eagles Nation. Peace, y'all.